For Skyrim skills, one-handed is about, I give one-handed is S tier. I mean A tier, sorry. Not what I meant. One-handed is like B or A tier because it's basic, but it gives you the opportunity to be a dual wielder. You can also be a spell sword. So I say one-handed is about like, I have to give it B tier because it's basic. B for basic. Fair enough, right? Smithing, the game could do better at incorporating smithing into the general game. I mean, I know it's kind of an element if you're playing vanilla, but in SE, when you have mods and stuff like that, I have a lot of mods myself personally. I try to do smithing characters, but I have a lot of mods that kind of like make smithing irrelevant. A lot of the stuff is already unlocked and I can just smith whatever as long as I have the materials. I don't have to actually unlock the smithing ability. So that makes it difficult for me to decide on smithing. So I'll give smithing C tier because it's necessary, but it all depends on your profile, which can be set for anything, but just, you know, hear me out. We're going to do C for smithing. What is this? Alteration. Okay, this is restoration. No, conjuration. Conjuration, straight up A tier. If you're not conjuring shit, you're not doing nothing. That means you get summons, you can conjure weapons, and then you have some cooler conjuration spells that kind of really mix up the game depending on what you got. You got banishing spells, you know what I mean? So conjuration is definitely A tier. Restoration, I personally, there's one restoration spell, which is Necroplague. Necroplague, you put it on dead bodies, and the disease that's on that body will spread to the other dead bodies and spread to people. And then when they die, that's more Necroplague. So that's my favorite spell in all of my role plays with Skyrim. I love doing characters that do disease, or that do disease, or if they do, you know, just that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Or from like a necro, I have to have Necroplague. So I'll give it A tier. Plus, you know, you need to heal. Two-handed, S tier. Two-handed, straight up S tier. Two-handed in Skyrim is goated. My favorite thing to do in Skyrim is to have, you know, you have your favorite menu and you get a 1 and a 2. That's your quick options in your favorite menu. I set my 1 to my two-handed sword. I set my 2 to my bow because those are both two-handed items and it's a 1-2 quick. When you set your favorites or your 1 and 2 to a one-handed item and a spell, when you set your favorites in your quick menu in your favorites to a one-handed ability like a sword or a spell, a shield or a sword, yeah, sure, to do that, but a spell you double click and it does both hands. When you're in the heat of the moment, that shit is a delay. That's nothing but a delay. But having a two-handed in an archery set on your quick menu, your favorites menu, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Straight up, just like that. Some of these I'm not recognizing off the bat, I'll be honest. We have alchemy. Alchemy, nobody ever uses alchemy. D. What is this, light armor? This is lockpicking. This has to be heavy armor. So this has to be, is this light armor? Heavy armor? A tier. Because it depends on the build. It depends on the build. But heavy armor is heavy armor. And once you get your heavy armor up, once you get heavy armor is S tier. Once you get that full perk package in heavy armor, you get the silent and weightless heavy armor. It might not be silent, but you can do muffling, right? So because heavy armor becomes weightless with full perk package, it's S tier because there's no downside. No downside. Illusion, S tier. There's some amazing illusion spells out there. Lockpicking, you have to have it. It's B tier. Destruction, A tier. A tier. Especially if you have mods. Mods or no mods, there's some amazing destruction spells out there. It's A tier. It's B tier. It's basic. Sneak. Because we all have to fight the urge to become sneak archers, sneak has to be basic. You have to have it. You have to have it. You know what I mean? You have to. Light armor. C tier. I like most of the light armor designs more, but light armor is kind of lame. Light armor is kind of lame. It doesn't really do much for a guy like me. You know what I mean? Most of the time, the aesthetic is nice for most of the stuff, but it's not that great. Alteration. A tier. If you know how to do alteration right, you get that mage armor, you get all that type of stuff, And then plus you get transmutation, you get long stride. I don't know if that's a modded spell or not, but that makes you so your carry capacity goes up and you can get to it. Or it makes your breathing and all that stuff fine. Alteration is A tier. You just have to know how to use it. I want to do a strictly alteration build. I'll use maybe weapons and maybe just do alteration spells only. That'd be fun. Pickpocketing, S tier, because you can put poison in someone's pocket and end them. That's a great design of the game. Pickpocketing is S tier. Persuasion, A tier. You got to know how to use it. Persuasion's nice. Opens up dialogue options, and it's an RPG, and that adds a lot of RPG into a game that's more like adventure than RPG, if you get what I'm saying. The ones who know. Blocking. Why would I ever need to block, bro? I don't need to block. I'm out here fighting for my life. Blocking gets D tier. D, yeah. And then archery, A tier. Archery gets A tier. Because we have to fight that sneak archer. But again, I love that favorite menu idea of doing one two-handed and one bow or crossbow. So it gets A. Enchanting. Enchanting is S tier. That's my favorite part of the game. That's some of my favorite parts of the game. Especially with the mods that I have. Enchanting goes dumb, stupid, crazy hard. Dumb, stupid, crazy hard. Bro, if this ad don't get out of my face. Alright, so look. S tier. Let's rate these now. One-handed, heavy armor, illusion, pickpocketing, enchanting. First, we're going to put enchanting because you're nothing without a solid weapon. You're nothing without a solid weapon. So enchanting is the best. Illusion comes second because you can do fury. I love a good fury spell and calm, I guess. You know, you got to pair them up. Courage I can go without. Calm I can honestly go with that, but the amount of benefit you get from a good fury placement is amazing. So enchanting, illusion, two-handed, pickpocketing, heavy armor pickpocketing. In our A tier, we have conjuration, restoration, alteration, persuasion, archery. We're gonna do conjuration, restoration, then conjuration because you gotta heal. Then we're gonna go persuasion, alteration, archery has to be last in the A's. Alteration, archery. Out of our B basics, we'll go destruction, one-handed, sneak, lockpicking. In our C tier, we'll do light armor, smithing. In our D tier, we'll do alchemy, blocking. Because you don't need blocking. You don't need blocking. So there it is. There's our Skyrim skills tier list. Again, we have enchanting, illusion, two-handed, heavy armor, pickpocketing. A tier, we have restoration, conjuration, persuasion, alteration, archery. B tier, we have destruction, one-handed, sneak, lockpicking. Then we have light armor, smithing, and C. And then in our D tier, we have alchemy and blocking. In that order. In that order. If you have any disagreements, let me know, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. I'll tell you why you're wrong. Now, moving on to the towns, right? Moving on to the Skyrim towns. S tier, Riverwood. I love Riverwood. It's that OG spot. OG spot where, you know, it all begins. That's where the journey really begins in Riverwood. If it ain't Riverwood, it ain't nothing. Nerf or nothing. Riverwood or nothing. Next, our second best town after Riverwood. I love Solitude because it's the capital city, bro. It's the capital city. There's like always action going on in Solitude, and the introduction to Solitude was amazing. You know what I mean? When you get the whole beheading thing going on. That introduction, the first time you play Skyrim, and you walk in there and there's a whole thing happening, you can't tell me that's not a core memory, bro. You can't tell me nothing. Third, we'll go Winterhold in S tier. Because the whole college, the whole College of Winterhold quest line, all of that has shit going on. Then A tier we'll do we'll do S tier Riften, A tier Winterhold. Riften's amazing because that's the thieves guild, bro. That's the town of the scoundrels, town of the rogues, town of the gutter, town of the cretins, the what do you call it? The urchins, right? Raven Rock, I'm gonna give it A tier because I don't get there enough. Is Solstheim on here? I think Raven Rock and Solstheim are both. So I think Raven Rock is in Solstheim. When you go to that other island, I haven't beat enough Skyrim games to get there. Not because I haven't played Skyrim much, but because I always restart. Helgen, I'll give Helgen B for B tier because that's where you actually start. So it's you have to. You have to. Dragon Bridge, kind of dull, but it's cool. Falkreath has like that whole like Falkreath is kind of like, I don't know. When I think of Falkreath, I just think of the cemetery there. So it's D tier, but it's interesting. So it gets a C. Dawnstar, that has a Dawnstar museum. Okay, I mean they have the cult that's there, so that's all right. Iverstead, don't care. Carwith, small town. Markarth has a cool design to it. The fact that it's all in the hills and the mountains and shit, that's very cool. Morthal, don't care. Rorikstead, don't care. Shorestone, don't care. Skull Village actually introduces you to that first new like armor set. I'll put it at C tier. Whiterun, I'll give B because that's the Whiterun's like similar to Helgen, you know what I mean? And then Windhelm, that's the Assassin's Guild, and you got some like racial things going on in Windhelm. So it gets A tier. And these are all, now we're going to do in order of them, right? So S tier, Riverwood, Solitude, Riften. We'll do Riften first, then Solitude, then Riverwood because it barely made it. A tiers, we'll do Winterhold, Ravenwalk, and then Windhelm. B tier, Helgen and Whiterun. Whiterun's better than Helgen. I mean, Helgen's literally dusted to scraps. C tier, in our C tier category, we'll do Skull Village, because I love the armor there, right? I'm trying not to make it B tier, but I love the armor there. Then we'll do Markarth. Dragon's Bridge is cool. I like the bridge. I give him props from the bridge there. Falkreath goes last. Dawnstar, then Falkreath. Iverstead, then D and E don't really matter because they're just like, they're D and E, bro. It doesn't matter who's king of the shit pile, right? It doesn't matter who's king of the shit pile. So, those are our Skyrim tier lists. If you disagree with me, you disagree with me. Let me know in the chat. And I'll tell you why you're wrong. I'm going to make a YouTube video of that too, so check it out and let me know what the deal is, right?